Picture a peaceful park. Golden sunlight spills through the trees. A tired man sits on a bench, holding a simple sandwich, unaware that one small moment will change his life forever. Tom sits alone. The park is quiet. His sandwich is all he has for lunch. Life hasn't been easy. Tom sat on the old wooden bench, the park stretching out before him like a painting. The late afternoon sun hung low, casting golden light across the grass. A gentle breeze carried the scent of damp earth and blooming flowers. Ducks drifted on the pond, their soft quacks blending with the rustle of leaves. Tom's hazel eyes, shadowed with fatigue, stared at the sandwich in his hands. It was just bread and peanut butter, wrapped in crinkled wax paper. His stomach growled, but he hesitated. This was his only meal until tomorrow. Life hadn't been kind to Tom lately. His job at the hardware store barely paid the bills, and his tiny apartment felt emptier without his daughter, Emma, who was staying with her grandma for the week. He missed her giggles, her small hand in his. Being a single dad was hard, but giving up wasn't in him. He sighed, unwrapping the sandwich, slowly, the wax paper crinkling in the quiet. The world felt heavy, but the park was a small escape, a place to breathe. He took a small bite, savoring the simple taste. Then a soft rustle caught his ear. A girl, maybe 8 or 9, stood nearby, watching him. Her dark hair was messy, her green dress slightly too big. She looked hungry, her eyes fixed on the sandwich. Tom's heart tugged. He knew that look. "Hungry?" he asked gently, his voice warm. She nodded, shy. Tom smiled, tearing the sandwich in half. "Here, we can share." A little girl joins Tom. Her eyes are bright, but she looks hungry. A small act of kindness begins. The girl sat beside Tom, her small frame barely taking up space on the bench. Her name, she said softly, was Lily. Her blue eyes sparkled, but they held a quiet sadness, like she carried a secret. She took the half sandwich Tom offered, her fingers hesitant. "Thank you," she whispered, her voice small against the hum of the park. Tom watched her take a tiny bite, chewing slowly, as if savoring every crumb. He didn't mind giving up half his lunch. He'd gone hungrier before. The park felt softer now, the sunlight warming their faces. A duck waddled closer, hoping for crumbs, and Lily giggled, a sound like wind chimes. Tom's heart lifted. It reminded him of Emma. "Do you come here a lot?" he asked, keeping his voice gentle. Lily shrugged, her eyes on the sandwich. "Sometimes. I like the ducks." Tom nodded, sensing she didn't want to say more. He didn't push. Instead, he pointed to the pond. "That one's the boss," he said, nodding at a duck with a shiny green head. Lily smiled, relaxing us little. They sat in comfortable silence, the world slowing around them. The breeze carried the scent of pine, and the leaves rustled like a lullaby. Tom felt a strange peace, like sharing this moment meant something. He didn't know why, but Lily's quiet presence made the day feel less heavy. As she finished her half, Lily looked at him, her eyes wide. "You're nice," she said simply. Tom's throat tightened. He hadn't heard that in a while. Lily talks about the ducks. Tom listens. A small bond grows in the quiet park. Lily's voice grew brighter as she talked about the ducks. "That one's lazy," she said, pointing to a duck floating with its head tucked under its wing. Tom chuckled, leaning forward, his elbows on his knees. Her chatter filled the air, light and easy, like bubbles floating on the pond. The park felt alive now, the sunlight dancing on the water, the grass glowing green. Tom noticed her dress, slightly torn at the hem, and her shoes, scuffed and worn. She didn't seem to care. He wondered about her, where she lived, who looked after her. But her smile kept those questions at bay. She was just a kid, enjoying a moment, and he didn't want to break it. "Do you have a favorite duck?" he asked, keeping the conversation light. Lily tilted her head, thinking. "The one with the white spot. She's brave. She swims alone sometimes." Tom nodded, impressed by her thoughtfulness. "Sounds like you," he said, half-teasing. Lily blushed, hiding a smile. The breeze picked up, rustling the trees, and a few leaves fell around them. Tom felt a pang, thinking of Emma. He'd bring her here when she was back, let her chase the ducks. For now, Lily's company was enough. The sandwich was gone, but his heart felt fuller. Lily glanced at him, her eyes curious. "Why do you come here?" Tom paused, the question catching him off guard. "To think," he said finally, "and to breathe." She nodded, like she understood. A man in a suit appears. His face is worried. Something is about to change. The park was still, the air growing cooler as clouds drifted over the sun. Tom and Lily sat quietly, watching the ducks glide across the pond. Then, footsteps crunched on the gravel path. Tom looked up to see a man approaching. He was tall, dressed in a sharp gray suit, his face etched with worry. His eyes locked on Lily, and Tom felt a flicker of unease. "Lily," the man called, his voice urgent but controlled. Lily turned, her face lighting up. "Mr. Carter," she said, hopping off the bench. Tom stood unsure. The man, Mr. Carter, reached them, his eyes scanning Lily as if checking for harm. "You can't run off like that," he said, his tone soft but firm. "Your father's been worried." Tom's brow furrowed. "Father?" He glanced at Lily, who looked sheepish but unharmed. "She was just here, eating," Tom said, his voice steady. "I gave her half my sandwich." Mr. Carter's gaze softened, taking in Tom's worn jacket and kind eyes. "Thank you," he said, his voice quieter now. "She's important to someone." Tom nodded, sensing there was more to the story. The park felt different now, the air heavier. Lily tugged at Mr. Carter's sleeve. "He's nice," she said, pointing at Tom. Mr. Carter smiled faintly. "I can see that." He hesitated, then pulled out a card from his pocket. "If you're ever in need, call me." Tom took the card, confused but polite. The name James Carter was printed in crisp letters with a phone number. Tom walks home. The day feels heavy, but something new stirs in his heart. The sun dipped low, painting the park in shades of orange and pink. Tom walked slowly along the gravel path, his boots crunching softly. The business card felt heavy in his pocket, a small mystery he didn't understand. Lily and Mr. Carter were gone, leaving the bench empty. The park was quieter now, the ducks settling for the night, their quacks fading into the evening mist. Tom's mind replayed the day. Sharing his sandwich with Lily had felt right even if it left him hungrier. Her smile, her chatter about ducks, it reminded him why he kept going. For Emma, for moments like that. But bills were piling up and his job wasn't enough. The weight of it pressed on his chest, heavier than the cooling air. He paused by the pond, watching the water ripple in the fading light. The card in his pocket nagged at him. Who was Mr. Carter? And why did Lily's father send someone like him to find her? Tom wasn't one to pry, but curiosity tugged at him. The breeze carried a chill now, and he pulled his jacket tighter. Home was a small apartment, just a bed, a couch, and Emma's drawings on the fridge. He missed her. Tomorrow he'd call her, hear her voice. Maybe he'd call the number on the card, too, just to see. As he left the park, the first stars appeared, faint against the twilight. Tom felt a spark of hope, small but real, like a candle in the dark. Something about today felt different. Tom sits in his quiet home, a card in his hand, a choice to make. Tom's apartment was small, the kind of place that felt full with just one person. A single lamp cast a warm glow, softening the cracked paint on the walls. Emma's drawings, bright. Crayons shaping flowers and ducks, hung above the couch. Tom sat there, holding Mr. Carter's card, his thumb tracing the embossed letters. His old phone rested on his knee, waiting. The day had left him tired, but Lily's smile lingered in his mind. He thought of her torn dress, her bright eyes. She was someone's daughter, like Emma was his. But who was her father? And why did Mr. Carter seem so serious? Tom hesitated, then dialed the number. The line rang twice before a voice answered. "James Carter." Tom cleared his throat. This is Tom, from the park. You gave me your card." There was a pause. Then Carter's voice softened. "Thank you for calling. Lily's father wants to meet you. Can you come to his office tomorrow?" Tom's stomach twisted. Her father? Why? "He's grateful," Carter said simply. "You helped his daughter." Tom glanced at Emma's drawings, his heart heavy. He wasn't sure what this meant, but he agreed. "Okay, I'll come." After hanging up, he sat in silence, the lamp flickering slightly. The apartment felt too quiet without Emma's laughter. Tomorrow felt uncertain, but for the first time in a while, Tom didn't feel alone. The card, the call, it was a thread, pulling him toward something new. Tom in a sleek, modern office, sitting nervously in a leather chair. Across a large desk sits Mr. Grayson, a man in his 50s with silver hair and sharp blue eyes, dressed in an expensive suit. The office has floor-to-ceiling windows overlooking the city. Tom's worn jacket contrasts with the polished setting. Voice script. Tom steps into a new world. A man with kind eyes waits. A secret is revealed. The office was like nothing Tom had ever seen. Glass walls, a polished desk, and a view of the city skyline that made him feel small. He sat in a leather chair, his faded jacket out of place. Across the desk was Mr. Grayson, Lily's father. His silver hair was neat, his suit crisp, but his blue eyes were kind, like Lily's. "Thank you for coming, Tom," Mr. Grayson said, his voice steady. "Lily told me what you did. You shared your lunch with her." Tom shifted, uneasy. "It was just a sandwich." Grayson smiled faintly. "To you, maybe. To her, it was more." He leaned forward. "Lily's mother passed away last year. She's been lost. She runs off sometimes to the park. You made her feel safe." Tom's throat tightened. He thought of Emma, how he'd do anything to keep her safe. "I'm glad she's okay," he said. Grayson studied him, then slid a folder across the desk. "I own Grayson Industries. I looked into you, Tom. You're a good man, a hard worker. I want to offer you a job, better pay, steady hours, a chance to take care of your daughter." Tom blinked, stunned. The room felt too big, the offer too sudden. "Why me?" he asked. "Because you didn't hesitate to help a stranger," Grayson said. "That's rare." Tom's hands trembled as he took the folder. The city sparkled outside, but all he could think of was Emma's smile. Tom walks with his daughter. The park feels brighter. A new chapter begins. The park looked different in the morning light, softer and full of promise. Tom held Emma's small hand as they walked toward the pond. Her curly brown hair bounced, and her hazel eyes sparkled as she pointed at the ducks. "Look, Daddy, the boss duck," she giggled, echoing Lily's words. Tom smiled, his heart full. His new jacket felt strange, bought with his first paycheck from Grayson Industries. The job was good. Better hours, enough to pay the bills and save a little. Emma was back home now, her laughter filling the apartment again. The park, once a place to escape his worries, now felt like a beginning. They passed the bench where he'd met Lily. It was empty, but the memory lingered. Sharing that sandwich had changed everything. He hadn't seen Lily or Mr. Grayson since, but he didn't need to. Their kindness and his had been enough. "Can we feed the ducks?" Emma asked, tugging his hand. Tom nodded, pulling a bag of breadcrumbs from his pocket. They stood by the pond, tossing crumbs to the ducks, who quacked happily. The sun warmed their faces, and the breeze carried the scent of spring. For the first time in years, Tom felt light. The worries were still there: bills, life, the future. But they were smaller now. He had Emma, a job, a chance. And maybe, just maybe, he'd come back to this bench someday to share another sandwich with a stranger. A familiar face returns. The park holds new surprises. Kindness comes full circle. Tom and Emma sat on the bench, tossing breadcrumbs to the ducks. The park was alive with color, flowers blooming in pinks and yellows, the sky a clear blue. Emma giggled as a duck waddled close, and Tom felt peace settle over him. Then a small voice called out, "Tom!" He turned to see Lily, her dark hair tied back, her green dress neat and new. She ran toward them, her smile bright. Behind her, Mr. Grayson followed, his silver hair catching the sunlight. Tom stood, surprised, his heart warm. "Lily," he said, kneeling to her level, "you look happy." She nodded, holding out a small paper bag. "I brought you a sandwich," she said shyly. "Peanut butter, like yours." Tom laughed, taking the bag. "Thank you," he said, his voice thick. Emma peeked at Lily, curious. "Who's she? Daddy?" "A friend," Tom said, smiling. Mr. Grayson approached, his eyes kind. "I wanted to thank you again," he said. "Lily talks about you all the time. You made a difference." Tom shook his head. "It was just a sandwich." "It was more," Grayson said firmly. Lily and Emma ran to the pond, giggling as they tossed crumbs. Tom and Grayson watched, the park wrapping them in its quiet magic. Tom felt a lump in his throat. He hadn't just shared a sandwich that day, he'd shared hope. The bench holds them all. A simple moment. A lasting bond. The park glows with hope. The bench felt different now, like it held a story. Tom, Emma, Lily, and Mr. Grayson sat together, sharing peanut butter sandwiches from Lily's paper bag. The park glowed in the afternoon light. The pond sparkling, the ducks quacking for crumbs, laughter filled the air, light and free. Emma and Lily chatted like old friends, planning to name the ducks. Tom watched, his heart full. Mr. Grayson, usually so polished, looked relaxed, his suit jacket off, a smile on his face. The billionaire and the single dad side by side, connected by a small act of kindness. "This park's special," Grayson said, his voice soft. "It brings people together." Tom nodded, biting into his sandwich. The taste was simple, but it meant more now. He thought of that first day when he'd been hungry and tired, yet shared what little he had. That choice had led to this, a job, a friendship, a moment he'd never forget. Lily leaned against him, her eyes on the ducks. "You're my favorite person," she whispered. Tom's eyes stung. He ruffled her hair, then Emma's. "You're both pretty great," he said. As the sun began to set, casting golden rays across the park, Tom felt something settle in his soul. Life wasn't perfect, but it was better. The bench, the park, the sandwich, they were reminders that kindness, no matter how small, could change everything. And as they sat together, the world felt right.